Hey, y'all, picture this. It's the dead of winter, 1877, in a little nowhere town called Frost Hollow, Wyoming, where the snow's so thick it feels like the sky's trying to bury you alive. I'm talking bone-chilling cold, the kind that makes your breath hurt. And there's this guy, Caleb Holt, riding into town on a half-frozen horse, looking for nothing but salt, bullets, and maybe a bottle of whiskey to keep the ghosts quiet. He's 35, tough as old leather, living alone in a cabin he built with his own 2 hands up in the mountains, only coming down when his pantry's empty or the silence gets too loud. But that day, something shifts. Caleb's tying his horse outside the general store when he smells fresh bread, warm and sweet, cutting through the ice like a promise. He follows it to the bakery, and there, in the snow by a trash barrel, he sees Ellie Kane, young, shivering, her dress torn to rags, digging for scraps like she hasn't eaten in days. Her hands are red, raw, clawing at a moldy crust, and before Caleb can even think, the baker's wife storms out, broom in hand, yelling, "Get out of here, you filthy thief. Running from your fancy wedding, stealing jewels, and now you're begging like a stray?" Ellie stumbles back, crumbs on her lips, eyes wide like a cornered deer. Caleb doesn't hesitate. He steps between him, blocks the wind, and says, calm as a frozen lake, "Ma'am, I'll take a loaf." The baker's wife huffs, hands him the bread, still warm, and he pays without a word. Then he kneels in front of Ellie, holds out the loaf, and says, "A lady shouldn't have to beg for bread." She stares at him, snow in her lashes, like she's waiting for the trick. "Thank you," she whispers, voice cracked. "I didn't mean to." He shakes his head. "Just eat." She tears into it, like it's the first real thing she's tasted in weeks, and the baker's wife mutters, loud enough for the street to hear, "That's the girl who ran from Amos Varnell's wedding, stole his gold watch, they say. Threw away a fortune to freeze in the dirt." Ellie freezes mid-bite, and Caleb looks at her, not judging, just a skin, "That true?" She lowers the bread, voice soft, "I'm Ellie Kane. I was supposed to marry Amos Varnell, but I ran. That's all." Caleb nods, like that's enough for him, and asks, "You got a place to stay tonight?" She shakes her head, "Just the alley by the saloon, if I keep quiet." He pulls the scarf from his neck, wraps it around her, and says, "I'll be back by sundown. Don't wander far." Then he's gone, riding into the snow like he didn't just change her whole world. That night, Caleb finds her behind the saloon, curled up by the stables, breath fog gin in the dark. He kneels, drapes a thick blanket over her, and sets a small knife by her boot. "Simple. Iron, no nonsense. Sleep better knowing you got this," he says. Ellie's eyes well up, not from the cold, but because someone saw her, really saw her, and didn't turn away. "Why?" she asks, voice breaking. "You ain't livestock," he says. "You don't deserve to freeze like one." And right there, something in her cracks, not loud, just a quiet sob, like she's been holding her breath for years. Weeks pass, and Ellie's living at Caleb's cabin, learning the ropes, how to build a fire, ride a horse, even aim a rifle. They don't talk much, but the silence ain't empty. It's warm, like a fire you don't need to stoke. One night, she's burning cornbread, Logan at herself, and he just pours her a glass of milk, says, "Try again." But trouble's coming. A bounty hunter, Silas Ward, rides up one afternoon, his coat dusted with frost, a wanted poster in hand. "Caleb Holt," he asks, voice like gravel. "I'm hunting Ellie Kane. Stole from Amos Varnell, ran from her vows. $2,000, dead or alive." Caleb doesn't blink, just says, "She passed through weeks ago, sick as a dog. I fed her, she left." Silas smirks, "Mind if I look around?" Caleb steps closer, voice low, "I mind." The air's tight, like a storm's brewing, but Silas backs off, warning, "If you're hiding her, you'll hang for it." Ellie overhears, and by dusk, she's gone, her tracks lead in to the canyons. Caleb finds her under a rock overhang, shaken from cold and fear. "You shouldn't be here," she says. "I'm trouble." He kneels, takes her hands, and says, "I don't need you innocent, Ellie. I just want you here. It's not a proposal, not a promise, just truth, and it's enough to bring her back." Word spreads in Frost Hollow, and the town splits. Some call her a thief, others whisper about her kindness, like when she nursed old man Tucker's kid through a fever. Caleb rides into the market square one day, poster in hand, and faces the crowd. Y'all see this paper, but I see a woman who ran from a man who'd break her. She's braver than most of you. Voices rise, some angry, some soft. Widow Tucker steps up. She saved my boy. The preacher nods. I wrote the judge. She's no criminal. The sheriff scratches his chin, then says, we're keeping her. Spring comes, and under a wide sky, Caleb and Ellie stand by a stone altar, saying vows that ain't fancy, but feel like forever. I give you my days, my quiet, my heart, he says. She whispers, you gave me dignity. I'll keep your fire lit. Years later, their cabin's alive with their son's laughter, another baby on the way, and a sign above the door. Where bread was shared, a home was made. But here's the thing, what if Silas comes back? What if Amos Varnell's still out there, holding a grudge? Could a town's word really stop a man with money and spite? If you were Ellie, would you keep running, or trust the folks who stood up for you? Drop a comment. Tell me what you think about justice, second chances, or stand in your ground. Hit that like button if this story hit you in the feels, and subscribe to Frontier Heart Tales for more stories where love fights harder than a winter storm. Ride easy, y'all, and love deep.